There comes a moment in life when you see people for who they truly are, not for who they pretend to be, not for the mask they wear, but for the darkness that lurks beneath. And when that moment arrives, when you finally see through the lies, the deception, the manipulation, something shifts. You become dangerous, not because you seek revenge, not because you want to expose them, but because you know. And let me tell you something about evil people. When they realize that you know who they really are, they don't just sit back and accept it. No, they panic, they plot, they try to pull you back into their web before you break free, because the last thing they want is to lose control. You see, some people thrive in the shadows, but the second they feel the heat of truth, that's when they start moving differently. That's when they reveal themselves in ways they never meant to. So pay attention, because what happens next is not a coincidence. It's a pattern. It's a blueprint of what evil people do when they know that you know. And this is where things get real. Watch for these signs, because they are always the same. You need to understand this, because once you do, you'll never unsee it. This is what separates those who escape from those who stay trapped. Now listen carefully, because this could change everything. If you've ever dealt with someone like this, you'll recognize every single one. Here's what they do when the truth corners them. They gaslight you even harder. The moment they realize that you've caught on to them, that you see through their lies, they don't back down. No, they double down. Because to them, losing control over you is not an option. They can't afford for you to trust your own mind, to stand firm in your truth, so they do what they do best. They manipulate reality. They twist facts. They make you question what you saw, what you heard, what you felt. It starts subtly at first, a small comment here, a little dismissal there. You're imagining things. That's not what happened. You're being too sensitive. These phrases seem harmless on the surface, but don't be fooled. They are carefully crafted weapons designed to chip away at your confidence, at your ability to trust yourself, because if they can make you question your own memory, your own perception, then they still have power over you. And that's all they care about. Power. Then, as you continue to stand firm, they turn it up a notch. They rewrite history right in front of you, making you doubt events that you know happened. They tell you things didn't unfold the way you remember. They insist you're misinterpreting everything. And because you're already emotionally invested, because you've already spent time, energy, maybe even years in this person's presence, you hesitate. You second guess yourself. You wonder if maybe, just maybe, they are right and you are wrong. That's how it starts. The slow erosion of your own reality, and they know exactly what they're doing. They watch your reactions carefully, studying your face for signs of uncertainty. The moment they see hesitation, they push harder. I would never do that. How could you even think that about me? After everything I've done for you, now it's not just about the situation anymore. It's about you being the problem. Suddenly, you're not just mistaken, you're the villain for even questioning them in the first place. And that's the thing about gaslighting. It's not just about lying. It's about making you feel guilty for seeing the truth. It's about making you believe that the pain they caused you was never real to begin with. That the betrayal, the manipulation, the mind games, it was all in your head. They'll use your emotions against you. If you're angry, they'll say you're being irrational. If you're sad, they'll accuse you of overreacting. If you're confident in what you know, they'll call you stubborn, difficult, unwilling to listen. Every reaction you have becomes ammunition for them to discredit you, to make you feel unstable, to make you apologize for something that they did. And the worst part? It works. It works because it's designed to. It works because when you care about someone, when you've invested time and trust into a relationship, whether it's romantic, familial, or even professional, you want to believe them. You want to believe that they wouldn't lie to you, that they wouldn't twist reality just to keep control, and that's exactly what they count on. They'll even bring other people into it. Everyone agrees with me. You're the only one who sees it that way. Even so-and-so said you're wrong. Whether or not these people actually said anything doesn't matter. What matters is that they plant the seed of doubt in your mind. And because once you start questioning yourself, once you start thinking, maybe I really am overreacting, they've won. They will keep you in this cycle for as long as they can. Every time you get close to breaking free, they'll find a way to pull you back in. Maybe it's an apology, maybe it's a guilt trip, maybe it's a sudden shift to kindness, But none of it is real. It's all part of the game. Because at the end of the day, the goal is not to fix things. The goal is to make sure you never trust yourself enough to leave. They play the victim. The moment they realize that you see them for who they really are, they don't take accountability. They don't own up to their lies, their manipulation, their deceit. No, they flip the script. They make themselves the wounded one, the betrayed one, the one who has suffered. Because nothing is more dangerous to them than someone who sees through their illusion. And nothing is more effective at deflecting blame than turning the attention away from their actions and onto their supposed pain. It begins with denial. I can't believe you would think that about me. How could you accuse me of something so terrible? After everything I've done for you? They speak with shock, with heartbreak, as if they are the ones who have been wronged. They shake their head, maybe even wipe away a fake tear, making you feel like you are the one hurting them. You are the one being unfair. It's not about what they did anymore. It's about how you have wounded them by calling them out. Then comes the guilt trip. They remind you of the times they were there for you, of the sacrifices they made, of the ways they supported you when no one else did. I was always on your side. I never thought you'd turn on me like this. I trusted you. They don't address the truth. They don't deny or confirm what they did. Instead, they flood you with reminders of the good times, making you feel like confronting them means betraying everything you once shared. And if you still stand firm, if you still refuse to back down, that's when they fall deeper into their role. They start telling people that you hurt them. They twist the story until they are the hero and you are the villain. I don't know what I did to deserve this. I've been nothing but good to them, and this is how they repay me. They've changed. I don't even recognize them anymore. They make it sound like you turned against them for no reason, as if you suddenly woke up one day and decided to attack them out of nowhere. And they don't just say this to you. No, they spread it to others, mutual friends, family members, co-workers, anyone who will listen. Because if they can make others see them as the victim, then they don't have to take responsibility for anything. And here's the cruelest part. They will do whatever it takes to get sympathy. They will cry. They will break down. They will act as though they are barely holding on, as if your words, your accusations, your truth is destroying them. And because you are a good person, because you have empathy, because you once cared about this person, it hurts to see them like that. It makes you wonder if maybe you were too harsh, if maybe you should have handled things differently, if maybe they really are the victim in all of this. That's how they get inside your head. That's how they manipulate your emotions. Because they know that deep down, you don't want to hurt people. You don't want to be the reason someone suffers. So they make it seem like standing in your truth, refusing to be deceived, is the real crime. And if you still don't back down, if you still hold them accountable, then they escalate. They start blaming their past. You know, I've been through so much. I have trust issues. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just didn't know how to handle things. Suddenly, their toxic behavior is excused by their pain. Suddenly, you're expected to understand why they did what they did. Because if you don't, if you hold them accountable despite their excuses, then you're heartless, you're unforgiving, you're cruel. And if none of that works, if you see through every lie, every excuse, every performance, that's when they drop all pretense. That's when the true rage comes out. Because the victim act was never about healing, never about making things right. It was only ever about one thing: making sure you never held them responsible for what they did. They smear your name. The moment they realize you see them for who they really are, they don't just sit back and accept it. They don't apologize, they don't change, and they certainly don't try to make things right. No, they go on the attack. Because to them, the worst thing that could happen is losing control over the way others see them. So before you even get a chance to tell the truth, they make sure no one will believe you. At first, it starts with whispers, subtle comments slipped into conversations. I don't know what's going on with them lately. They've really changed. I just hope they're okay. They plant seeds of doubt, little remarks that don't seem malicious on the surface, but are designed to make people start questioning you. They want others to look at you differently, to wonder if maybe you're the problem. Then they escalate. They start telling outright lies. I tried so hard to be there for them, but they just pushed me away. They've been acting so irrational lately. I hate to say it, but I think they might be unstable. And just like that, they rewrite the narrative. You're no longer the one who was wronged. You're the unstable one, the angry one, the untrustworthy one. They make sure that by the time you speak up, people already have doubts about your credibility. And they don't stop there. They rally people against you. They turn friends, family members, co-workers, anyone they can into their personal army. I just want what's best for them, but they won't listen. I'm honestly worried about them. They're attacking me, and I don't even know why. They paint themselves as the innocent party, the victim of your supposed cruelty, the one who is just trying to help while you're out here trying to tear them down. And because they speak with such sincerity, because they know exactly how to play on emotions, people believe them. They take their side before they even hear yours. And that's the worst part. It happens before you even know it's happening. By the time you realize what they've done, people have already started treating you differently. Conversations feel colder. People stop reaching out like they used to. You sense the hesitation, the judgment, the subtle shift in how others interact with you. And when you finally confront it, when you try to explain the truth, you're met with resistance. Well, I don't want to take sides. I don't know what happened, but I've just been hearing things. Maybe you should try to work it out with them. They don't see what's happening. They don't realize that by staying neutral, they're already picking a side. And that's exactly what the manipulator wants. They want you isolated. They want you to feel alone, to feel like no one believes you, to feel like there's no point in even speaking up anymore. Because if they can control how others see you, they can control how you see yourself. They can make you question your own reputation, your own worth, your own sense of reality. They'll even go as far as fabricating stories, exaggerating details, twisting facts until the truth is completely unrecognizable. They'll take your reactions, your frustration, your anger, your sadness, and use them as proof that they were right all along. See? Look how aggressive they are. I told you they were unstable. This is exactly what I was talking about. They provoke you, push you to your breaking point, and then stand back and act like the victim when you finally react. And if you try to defend yourself, if you try to call them out, that's when they play their final card. Why are you so obsessed with me? Why can't you just let it go? You're the only one still talking about this. They gaslight you into silence, making you feel like speaking the truth is a desperate, pointless act. They make sure that even if you scream the truth from the rooftops, people will only hear the lies they've carefully planted first. They turn up the charm. The moment they realize you're slipping away, that you've seen through their deception, that their grip on you is loosening, they don't lash out, at least not at first. No, they do something far more dangerous. They become everything you ever wanted them to be. They smile more. They laugh at your jokes. They say all the right things, make all the right promises. It's a performance, a carefully calculated act designed to pull you back in before you walk away for good. At first it seems genuine. You start questioning yourself, wondering if maybe you misunderstood them. If maybe they aren't as bad as you thought. They suddenly acknowledge the things you've been wanting them to see for so long. They bring up memories, moments that remind you of why you trusted them in the first place. I don't want to lose you. You mean so much to me. I've been thinking a lot, and I realize now that I need to change. And for a moment, just a moment, you believe them. They know exactly how to play on your emotions, how to make you second-guess your instincts. They remind you of the good times, the laughter, the moments when everything felt right. They bring up inside jokes, shared experiences, anything that makes you feel connected to them again. And the worst part, it works. Because deep down, a part of you wants to believe them. You want to believe that this time is different, that they finally see what they've done, that they truly regret the way they've treated you. But it's not real. It's never real. It's a strategy, a tactic they've perfected over time because they don't want to change. They don't want to be better. They just want to keep you under their control. And they know that the easiest way to do that is to give you just enough hope to stay. They suddenly become more attentive, more affectionate, more present than ever before. They start mirroring you, reflecting back the best parts of yourself, making you feel seen and understood. They'll say things like, "I've been doing a lot of thinking," or "I've realized how much you mean to me." They make grand gestures, sweeping declarations of love, friendship, or loyalty. They'll write long messages, pour their heart out in ways they never have before. It feels like the moment you've been waiting for, like maybe, just maybe, they finally get it. But then, slowly, the cracks start to show. Maybe it's a small slip in their behavior, something they promised they'd change but haven't. Maybe it's a moment where their mask slips and you catch a glimpse of the person you know they really are. You start noticing inconsistencies, things that don't quite add up. They're saying all the right words, but their actions don't fully match. And deep down, something doesn't feel right. And that's when the real test begins. If you call them out on it, if you even hint that you're still unsure, they immediately shift tactics. Suddenly, they're offended. I'm trying so hard and you don't even appreciate it. What more do you want from me? I guess I'll never be good enough for you. They flip it back on you, making you feel guilty for not immediately trusting them again. They make you feel like you're the one being unreasonable, like you're punishing them for trying. That's how they trap you. Because now, instead of questioning them, you start questioning yourself. Maybe you really are being too harsh. Maybe you should give them another chance. Maybe they really have changed and you just need to be patient. And that's exactly what they want, to keep you in that cycle of doubt, always giving them one more chance, always waiting for the change that will never come. And if you do fall for it, if you let them back in, they go right back to who they really are. Slowly but surely, the charm fades. The sweet words become less frequent. The effort starts to dwindle. The old patterns creep back in. Before you know it, you're right back where you started, wondering how you got fooled again, because that's the thing about them. They never change. They just learn how to keep you hoping. They try to make you doubt yourself. The moment they realize you see through them, that you know the truth about who they really are, that they know the truth about who they really are, they don't just accept it, they don't own up to it. Instead, they do something far more insidious. They make you question yourself. They make you wonder if you're overreacting, if you misunderstood, if maybe, just maybe, you're the one who's wrong. It starts with small comments, little jabs disguised as concern. Are you sure that's what happened? I think you might be remembering it wrong. You've been really stressed lately. Maybe that's why you're seeing things this way. They don't outright deny what they've done, not at first. Instead, they plant the seed of doubt, just enough to make you pause, to make you reconsider your own perspective. And that's all they need. That one moment of hesitation, that single second where you question your own reality, that's the opening they've been waiting for. Because once they get inside your head, once they make you doubt yourself, they can rewrite the entire story. Suddenly, the conversation shifts. It's not about what they did anymore. It's about your reaction to it. You always assume the worst. You're being so dramatic. You have a habit of making things bigger than they really are. Now, instead of defending yourself against their lies, you're defending yourself against accusations of being too emotional, too paranoid, too sensitive. And that's how they trap you. Because now, instead of standing firm in what you know, you start to second guess yourself. You replay the situation over and over in your head, trying to figure out if maybe they're right. Maybe you did misinterpret things. Maybe you are being unfair. Maybe you should give them the benefit of the doubt, and they know exactly what they're doing. They watch your face carefully as they speak, searching for signs that their words are working. The moment they see the uncertainty in your eyes, they push harder. See, you don't even know what really happened. You always jump to conclusions. This is exactly why we have problems. You never trust me. Now you're the problem. Now you're the one who needs to do better. And before you even realize it, you find yourself apologizing, not for anything you actually did, but for even daring to question them in the first place. And that's the most dangerous part of all, how easily they can make you turn against yourself. Because they know you have a good heart. They know you don't want to be unfair, don't want to accuse someone unjustly, don't want to hurt someone without reason. And they use that against you. They make you feel guilty for standing in your truth. And if you still hold firm, if you refuse to back down, that's when they take it even further. They start bringing up your past mistakes, things you've done wrong, moments where you weren't perfect. You're acting like you've never messed up before. What about that time when you hurt me? Oh, so when you make mistakes, it's okay, but when I do, it's a big deal? Suddenly the focus isn't on them anymore. It's on you. It's on every flaw you've ever had, every bad decision you've ever made, every moment of weakness you've ever shown. And because you're human, because you have made mistakes, you feel like you have no right to hold them accountable anymore. And if none of that works, If you still refuse to be manipulated, then they go silent. They stop engaging, stop explaining, stop acknowledging the truth altogether. They make you feel like you're talking to a wall, like you're the only one who cares about what happened. And that silence, that refusal to even acknowledge reality, that's what breaks you the most. Because now, it's not just about doubting what they did, it's about feeling completely alone in the truth you know. And that's their goal, to wear you down, to make you question yourself so much that eventually you give up. Because if you don't trust yourself, if you don't believe in your own perception of reality, then they've already won. They isolate you. When they realize you know the truth, when they understand that their mask has slipped and you see them for who they really are, they don't just try to control the way you see them, they try to control the way others see you. Because they know that as long as you have support, as long as you have people who believe you, they can't manipulate you as easily. So they do everything in their power to make sure you feel alone. It starts subtly. Maybe they make little comments about the people in your life, planting seeds of doubt. Are you sure you can trust them? I don't know, something about them seems off. I just get a weird feeling about them, but maybe it's just me. They don't outright tell you to cut people off, at least not at first. Instead, they make you question your relationships. They make you wonder if the people you trust are really on your side. Then they start creating tension. Maybe they start misunderstandings between you and your friends, twisting your words, making it seem like you've said or done things you never did. Maybe they conveniently forget to tell you about plans, making it seem like your friends are excluding you. Maybe they suddenly start needing all your time and attention, making you feel guilty for spending time with anyone else. And before you even realize what's happening, you find yourself drifting away from the people who once made you feel safe. And if that doesn't work, if your relationships are too strong to break apart so easily, that's when they escalate. They start turning people against you. They tell lies about you, carefully crafted stories that make it seem like you're the problem. I don't know what's going on with them lately. I've tried to be there for them, but they just keep pushing me away. Honestly, I'm worried about them. They act like the concerned friend, the caring partner, the innocent victim, while subtly making others see you as difficult, unstable, or even dangerous. And the worst part? They do it so smoothly that by the time you realize what's happening, people have already started treating you differently. Maybe they stop reaching out. Maybe they hesitate before responding to you. Maybe they start looking at you with suspicion, as if they've already made up their minds about who you are. And when you try to explain, when you try to set the record straight, you sound defensive. You sound like you're overreacting. Because by now they've convinced everyone that they're the reasonable one and you're the one who's spiraling. But it doesn't stop with just your friends. They isolate you emotionally too. They make you feel like you can't trust anyone. They make you feel like you're on your own, like no one will believe you, like no one wants to believe you. And when you finally start to withdraw, when you stop reaching out for help, they act like you're the one who changed. See, they're always pushing people away. I try to help them, but they just won't listen. They're isolating themselves. And I don't know why. They turn your own loneliness against you. They make it seem like you are the one creating distance, like you are the one ruining your own relationships. And because you feel so cut off, because you don't have anyone to remind you of what's real, you start to believe it. You start to wonder if maybe you are the problem. And that's exactly what they want, because when you feel alone, when you feel like you have no one else to turn to, you're easier to control. You're more likely to come back to them, to seek comfort from the very person who made you feel isolated in the first place. They make themselves the only person left in your life, the only one who understands you, the only one who's there for you. But it's not love, it's not care, it's control. And the most dangerous part, even if you try to break free, even if you start rebuilding the connections they tried to destroy, they won't just let you go. They'll do everything they can to pull you back in. They'll act like they've changed, like they regret everything, like they want to make things right. But the moment they feel like they have you back, the cycle starts all over again. They play the victim. When they know you figured them out, when they realize you see through their lies, their manipulations, their cruelty, they don't apologize. They don't take responsibility. They don't change. Instead, they flip the script. They're the ones who have been hurt. They're the ones who have been wronged, and you're the villain in their story. At first, it's subtle. They sigh a little more, they seem distant. Maybe they start talking less, acting as if they're carrying some deep, unspoken pain. And when you ask what's wrong, they hesitate, as if they don't want to say it, as if they're struggling with some great burden. Then, finally, they let it out. I just don't understand why you're treating me like this. I never thought you would be so cruel. I've done nothing but care for you, and this is what I get? It's not an apology. It's not an admission of guilt. It's a performance. They're not interested in making things right. They're interested in making you feel guilty, because if they can shift the focus away from their actions and onto your reaction, they win. Suddenly, it's not about what they did. It's about how you made them feel. And the moment you start defending yourself, the moment you start explaining why you're upset, you've already lost. Because now, instead of holding them accountable, you're trying to prove that you're not a bad person, and they know exactly how to make you feel like one. They bring up everything they've ever done for you, every act of kindness, every favor, every moment where they pretended to care. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me. I was always there for you, and now you're turning your back on me. They make it seem like they were the good one all along, like they were the victim of your coldness, your unfairness, your cruelty. And the worst part? They do it in a way that makes you doubt yourself. Because you do have compassion. You do care. And they count on that. They count on you feeling guilty, on you second-guessing yourself, on you wondering if maybe you were too harsh, too quick to judge. Because the moment you start feeling sorry for them, the moment you soften even a little, they know they have you. But it doesn't stop there. If making you feel guilty isn't enough, they take it to the next level. They start telling people how you hurt them. They twist the story, leaving out all the parts where they lied, manipulated, and betrayed you. Now, it's all about how you turned against them, how you abandoned them, how you treated them unfairly. And because they know how to play the victim so well, because they know exactly how to make themselves look pitiful, people believe them. I don't know what happened, but they just changed. I tried so hard to be there for them, but they pushed me away. I just don't understand why they're treating me like this. And suddenly, you're not just dealing with them anymore. You're dealing with a whole group of people who see you as the bad guy. People who don't know the full story. People who only heard the carefully crafted version they told. Now you're the one defending yourself, trying to explain what really happened, trying to prove that you're not the villain they've made you out to be. And that's exactly what they want. Because as long as you're stuck in that position, as long as you're busy trying to prove your innocence, trying to fix the damage they caused, you're not moving forward. You're not cutting them off. You're not standing in your truth. You're stuck in their game, playing by their rules. And if none of that works, if you refuse to play along, then they take it even further. They cry, they break down, they tell you how much you hurt them, how they don't understand why you're being so cruel, how they never thought you would turn on them like this. They make you feel like you're not just walking away from a toxic person, you're walking away from someone who needs you. And that's what keeps so many people stuck. Because they don't want to be the person who abandons someone in pain. But it's all an act. The tears, the sadness, the heartbreak, it's not real. It's just another manipulation, another attempt to keep you from leaving. Because they don't miss you, they miss controlling you. And as long as they can keep you feeling guilty, as long as they can make you question yourself, they'll never have to face the truth of who they really are.